Hello, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name is Millie.
And this is episode 11
Undici
of season 2
Due
of
Yonks Ago.
This is Yonks Ago, coming into your ears. Now what are yonks? They're kinda like years. Just a father and a daughter who want to know all about some people from Yonks Ago. Interesting people who did interesting stuff, but about whom we don't know enough. So we're gonna dig deep and find it all out. Yonky doodlers know what we're all about. Yonks Ago, hey ho, hey, Yonks Ago, hey ho, hey, surely. Episode 11 is here.
Yep.
We've made it. We're going to do a little cheeky double record today.
Hell yeah.
It's going to test your stamina, Millie.
Easy.
Are you ready? I mean, you are a stamina beast.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of get up and go.
Yeah.
But is your
More
attention
like
span there?
Stam outer.
You're a stam out. You're a stam outer beast. And we're going to see what you can do because we are going away next week.
We're
School,
YOLOing to Adelaide.
school holidays. We've got a little bit of your awesome roller derby action.
Yeah, like not to flex or anything.
Yeah, but do you do roller derby? If not, take a good long hard look at yourself. Nancy Wake would 100% have been a derber.
Derbier?
I just say derber because I'm lazy.
True.
I call it derb. I say you're a derber, and I'm the only one that's like I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to make it a thing. It's not a thing.
It's definitely not.
I was hoping I'd be able to slip it in you and you'd just think it was a thing, but you've called me out on it.
Yeah.
And it's going to make it harder for me to make it a thing.
You just failed.
Because I will not admit failure just yet.
Yeah, but it sounds ugly.
Yeah, but we're going, as we said, we're going to a derb event
Ew.
this weekend. And I'm going to be saying it non-stop to the point where
Wait,
people
are
are like...
you commentating?
No, not at this event, I don't think. I think
Yeah.
it's just juniors commentating.
True.
Because it is a
weird.
big... It's a junior event. It's the
Yeah.
junior, junior derb carnival in Adelaide. And so all the juniors are playing, all the juniors are commentating.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be some juniors officiating. I reckon there'll be mostly adults though.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good time all round.
Yeah.
You and your younger sister will be flexing on the derby courts. Derby tracks.
What the hell is even that?
To be fair, you do mainly play on basketball courts.
Yeah.
In sports stadiums. You're forced to because there's no purpose-made derby tracks as yet.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. The future is coming.
I mean, our track is solely
where you train.
Yeah.
The little the warehouse where you train. That's a derby track.
the factory.
But when you got to go to big events, it's almost always basketball courts.
100%.
So I'm not so crazy to call it a derby court because in some ways that's what you're skating on.
Yeah, but once you put the tape down, it becomes a track.
The court becomes a track. The track becomes a court. Doing roller derby is not what you thought.
Is definitely a sport. Oh.
Yeah, 100% a sport. Look, we're just warming up for the wrap up, getting our rhymes in order. Still a long way off because... as I said, I mean, I know, look, we took 17 episodes for Ned Kelly.
Yeah.
But
we already knew his life.
Yeah.
So we were just,
and I was thinking, maybe I better hurry up with Nancy Wake. But, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, YOLO.
However long it takes.
Don't compare seasons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking, in my mind, I was like, we should try to get it in around the same time as the Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly didn't do anything until he was like 14.
Everyone's life gets their own season length.
Yeah.
If Nancy Wake takes 50 episodes, Nancy Wake takes 50 episodes.
That's fine.
Nancy Wakes takes how long she takes.
Yeah. So once we get to episode 13 of this season,
yes,
that means we will have done 30 episodes.
Oh, you're doing the maths. Yeah, look, so I think we're up to, this is technically our 28th episode of Yonks Ago.
Yeah.
It's the 11th episode of season 2. And there were 17 episodes in season 1. There you go. That's maths.
Yep.
That's podcasting maths. We are very good at our podcast maths.
Are we going to do something cool for if we do get our 50th episode?
Mate, I'll get to 50 before we've even got close to finishing Nancy Wake.
I don't want to jinx it, but...
What you start thinking now about what you think.
I won't come up with anything.
The burden of responsibility once again falls upon this knucklehead right here. That's right. I'll put my thinking slacks on and I'll see what I can come up with. 50 episodes. I mean, It's going to have to be
Like 50 years ago, we do a little go through the months and what happened, something cool from the months 50 years ago.
You're already coming up with good ideas.
What was 50 years ago?
Would have been
69? Is that it?
That sounds mathematically accurate. Yeah, 1969.
Easy.
But will we get to 50 episodes when it's 2019?
No.
I reckon it'll be more like 2020, so it'll be 1970.
70. Oh, 69 though.
Well, maybe we need to start churning out some episodes. Just
Exercise.
two episodes a week, just so we get our 50th episode
YOLO.
in 2019. But yes, as we were saying, so we're going to be away next week. We won't be able to record another episode, so we're going to try to get 2 in the bank right here, right now.
Yeah, and hopefully we actually talk about Nancy Wake.
We'll try. But we look on that. We were just with Nancy Wake as she was a part of the assassination of King Alexander the First of Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia. That's a cool
Yugoslavia, but now no one Yugoslavias. In fact, I don't think there is a Yugoslavia anymore. I think that's a country that got. I think there's like the former Republic of Yugoslavia.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Eurovision has something like that. I'd need to look into it. Or am I thinking of the former Republic of Macedonia? Europe's such a tumultuous place.
They had North Macedonia in the last one.
But
and they had no Yugoslavia from my memory.
Yes, Europe's always changing, and none more so than in the 30s in Europe when everything's getting lit like crazy. So King Alexander I of Yugoslavia has just copped it. Yeah. As has a friendly French man who was supporting him in the car, another political French person who copped it. And then the assassin got shot well dead. Yeah. You're dead, son.
I mean, you like, that's what's going to happen to you.
You expect it. He went in knowing. He went in knowing.
He was like, fat YOLO, you know?
My final act on this earth will be killing these 2 dudes. Yeah. These 2 bros. Yeah. 2 bros in the car sitting 5 feet apart because they're both dead.
Rip. Fat rip.
And Nancy Wake was right there. She got the hot scoop. She got to, send word to all the newspapers that were affiliated with the Nancy Wake journalisms. Yeah. And so she was at once horrified, but on the flip side, quite excited.
Yeah, she was like, hell yeah.
And as we said, this event fast-tracked the rise of fascism or increased the stranglehold of fascism in Europe, which was your Mussolini's. And, of course, the big... We've touched briefly on it. We've mentioned the name occasionally, but this is where the name starts to come right into the spotlight. Your man, Adolf Hitler. When you think World War II, when you think who's the bad guy, it's hard to go past Adolf Hitler. Yeah. And this is where he comes right into the story. So just a little background. I don't know how much do you know about the whole Hitler thing? I imagine you're still learning bits and pieces of it in your schools and such. You're watching a few of the sad movies around.
He's a bad man.
You've got that, yes. So it's Adolf Hitler. He was the head of the Nazi party in Germany. The word Nazi itself has just become synonymous with that
he rose to power after the Treaty of Versailles. And then, because that was like, everyone was like, oh no. And then he was like, oh, what's the word? And then like the propaganda around it. And then he what's the word that I'm looking for?
I don't know. I need more.
He like appealed. He appealed to the people. Yes. And they were like, that's my man's right there. Because they were all angry. Because
at the end of World War I, because Germany lost World War I, according to history, and at the Treaty of Versailles sort of put them at the bottom of the pecking order in terms of what they could do, how they could govern, what armies they could have, all of that. And so the Germans were like, straight after the war, they're like, fair cop, we lost the war. But then a few years go on, the war becomes a bit of a memory, and they're like, our life's crap.
Yeah, we can't do anything.
It's not fair. It's not fair, miss. Yeah. So there's a bit of that going on in Europe and in Germany. Yeah. A little bit, surely we can do stuff now. Give us some guns, miss. Yeah. And that's when Hitler sort of started to rise and started to tap into that vibe of the people feeling hard done by, and everyone, it's us against them sort of thing. Yeah. So here's a little bit of history. So born in Austria, Hitler had spent nearly all of his adult life in Germany, and in February of 1932, he formally became a German citizen. So it was only in the 1932, it was the first time he was actually legitimately a German citizen. Yeah. And then straight away he ran for...
Ger woman, am I right?
There's Ger men and Ger women.
Yeah.
And it's the Ger people.
Yeah, the Ger people.
And so he ran straight away. He put himself up for election as the head of the Nazi party against Paul Ludwig Hans Anton von Breckendorf und von Hindenburg in the presidential election.
Yeah.
And he lost. Hindenburg got roughly 50% of the vote, just under 50%.
Yeah.
Hitler got just over 30%. So he was in there. Like He done all right, but Hindenburg got the win. But in the end, Hindenburg didn't quite get the majority, so he didn't have that clear, I'm the president, everyone wants me to be president. It was a bit of a fractious time, as you can imagine. As, even modern-day politics are a little bit like half of us like this person, half of us like that person. And so in this, so they had the government where a little less than half was Hindenburg's cabinet, Hindenburg's people, and then about just under 40% were the Nazis, and so they're sort of trying to rule, and that would have been that would have just continued on like that in a normal, stable democracy.
Yeah.
Oh, in Australia, there would have been about 18 prime minister changes in the meantime. Hindenburg would have lasted about a month, and then they would have replaced Hindenburg with someone else, and so on and so forth.
And then I'd be sitting here like, who's even the prime minister now? I don't even know.
But then, under less than a year later, after the election, on the night of the 27th of February 1933, the German parliament was destroyed by fire, lit by persons unknown. But Hitler's deputies, Goebbels and Göring, were almost certainly the instigators. So Hitler's like, get the Nazis together.
Yeah.
We're going to burn this government building down.
Yeah.
And you'd think, well, that's going to play badly for the Nazis, but they didn't get the blame.
No.
Then Hitler used that burning down to blame all the communists in the government. He went, the communists definitely burnt this building down. Because he sort of spread the word, definitely the communists.
Yeah.
And he's like hiding the gasoline and the matches behind the Nazi desk. He's like, don't look behind the desk.
Yeah.
Go look over at the communists because they definitely did it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, they probably did.
No, as he was like, look over there, and then he grabbed the matches and chucked them up.
He threw them over at the communists. Yeah. Or they just planted all that stuff over by the communist desks. That's what they did.
Yeah.
They like lit the fire and then they put everything that they used to lit the fire underneath the communist desk. The communists didn't check under the desk.
No.
And then the Nazis are like, I think if you look under the communist desks, you'll find what you're looking for. And no one asked any questions.
Yeah.
They went like, how did you know? They're just like, communists did it.
Yeah.
People are always jumping on the communists.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to frame communists too hard for them to get the blame.
No.
That's just historical. That's life.
Do you reckon they found some spiders under the desk as well? Because, like, whenever when you get into the car and you flip down what is it called?
Like the sun visor?
Yeah, check if there's a spider.
Yeah.
Or if you, look under the table.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There was definitely spiders.
Because they didn't check under the desks.
And the spiders definitely said, the communists did it.
Yeah.
Like, the Nazis had trained spiders to dob on the communists.
They would, wouldn't they?
Hey, spiders, who did it? Communists did it. There's a bit of that gear going on in 1930s.
Surely just get parrots, but...
I think...
parrots could do anything, though. You can't train a parrot.
I think before parrots gained sort of popularity, it was talking spiders. But people were like, spiders are creepy, but...
Yeah.
If only we could train some other animal to talk that wasn't so creepy, because at the moment, all we can train is spiders.
I mean, I don't like birds, though.
You would have been like... But you don't like spiders or birds.
No. It's true.
Who are you going to train? Like cats and dogs? Cats and dogs aren't having it.
I just don't go near any of them.
Cats and dogs are like, we're adorable.
Yeah. What do you want?
We don't need anything else. I think that's why birds and spiders probably are easy to train, because they're like, we need something to appeal to the people.
Oh, for sure.
To stop them squishing us or shooting us and plucking us and eating us.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas cats and dogs are like, we're sweet.
Cats... Are they sweet?
Well, they're not sweet, but people are loath to
Yeah. If you're a cat person, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a cat person, you've got like 100 cats.
There's cat people and then there's people. Because if you're a dog person, that says you don't mind.
Yeah, you're a bit either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're open-minded.
Yeah, but cat people because cats are weird, you know.
We're chicken people though. So
yeah.
What do we know?
No, I don't know, because I don't know. They scratch you and they're like.
Yeah, cats treat you mean.
They like run away.
They treat you mean to keep you keen.
Yeah.
But for some people, they're just like, they treat you mean and you hate them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work on everyone.
Yeah.
But that's universal. Not every tactic is going to work universally.
True.
But cats are very happy with their technique.
Yeah.
It gets them enough of a nice situation that they just stick at it.
Yeah.
And if some people hate them, so what?
Yeah. They don't care.
And I think that's what the Nazis were like at the time. They were a bit like the cats of Europe. So they set the fire, they framed the communists. So then all the communists in the government got arrested and taken out. And that meant, I think, that the Nazis had the majority.
Ooh.
Because anyone who was a communist...
majority.
They had the majority. And so brilliant plan by the Nazis. They are devious at Nancy Wake levels of devious right now.
Yeah, oh, they are, aren't they?
And so what happened then, Hindenburg issued a decree authorising the Nazi government to arrest and intern any persons it deemed a threat to national security. So Hindenburg, like everything is going to crap. The government's burned down. There's mostly Nazis left. So Hindenburg, who's still the elected president, though he's lost most of his support in the government because they've been arrested, he says, all right, Nazis, we're all working together here. You're in charge of policing anyone who might further want to set fire to buildings or anything like that. Like you're in charge of making all those laws and making sure Germany doesn't fall into a crazy rabble.
Yeah.
And the Nazis are like, oh, we'll be in charge of arresting people. Don't you worry about that.
Don't you worry.
Oh, we're ready.
Yeah.
It's basically what we've been waiting for.
Yeah. We're going to do it even if you didn't say that we were.
And essentially this was the beginning of the end for Hindenburg and Germany at large. For it was the end of not only free speech in Germany during that era, because as soon as they got the green light, the Nazis were like, censorship laws went crazy. They're like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't read this, you can't be here, you can't... and they just like passing all these laws.
Yeah.
And it was also the end of any serious resistance to Nazi rule.
Oh, I see.
So there had been some people like, I don't know if this whole Nazi thing's that good. What do you reckon? Everyone's like, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it could be all right. What do you reckon?
Is that when they were like the appeasement thing? Where like the other countries were like, they're doing all this, but we also...
That was coming, I think, because this was just the Nazis getting a foothold in Germany.
True.
The rest of the country wasn't
they hadn't like gone like...
The rest of the world was not like... We were all like, what's going on in Germany? Not quite sure.
Yeah.
Like they're just sorting out their own internal
all right,
politics.
I'm coming too quick.
But you know it's coming.
Yeah.
And so then in March 1933, so that's only a month after the fire, after they burnt down the building, a month later... the informal became formal. So the convention became law when they had the Enabling Act passed by the government, which in effect allowed Hitler's cabinet to assume legislative power for 4 years.
Ooh.
So they said, look, you know what? We've made you basically the police.
Yeah.
You're making laws to make sure everything doesn't go out of control. Let's actually just say that the Nazis are in government, but just for 4 years.
Okay,
Hindenburg's still the president, but we're going to let the Nazis run things, but just for 4 years, like they're on their P plates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not like full government. Like, don't get ahead of yourselves, Nazis. But you got 4 years to prove yourselves. And the Nazis are like, oh, yeah, no worries. We'll be good.
Oh, no, we'll take 3. Don't even worry.
Look, if any time you're not happy with us, just let us know and we'll step aside. Like they're being like, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then as soon as like the legislation signed, like Nazis are in government, they're like, ha-ha!
Sucked in.
Yeah, essentially sucked in. All of yous. And then, so 4 months later, Hitler and his cabinet outlawed all political parties in Germany other than the Nazi party.
How do you do that?
So they went, all right, we're in government and democracy's great, but from now on, there's only one political party and it's the Nazis and it's us and anyone else can get stuff.
Yeah.
But democracy's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we love it. But are you thinking of forming a political party? Because that's illegal now, so don't do that.
Don't even you think.
So that was just 4 months after they got the green light.
Oh, nice. Working quick.
And then they banned trade unions. So all the unions for the workers, like, you know how workers have unions that look after workers' rights and all that. They went, unions, No. No.
Rights, more like lefts.
Yeah. They're like, the government will look after all of that.
Yeah.
Step aside, unions. And if you're thinking of forming a union, don't do that. You don't want to know what we'll do if you're thinking of forming a union. And then then the churches came under extreme pressure to toe the Nazi line. So then they're like, well, people still like going to church.
Yeah.
What if we just had them basically spouting Nazi nonsense? And if they're not spouting Nazi nonsense, should we throw them in prison? Yes, we should definitely.
Yeah.
So any ministers who preached against the Nazis were arrested and taken to prison, basically.
Yeah.
So anyone who was out there like, I don't know if God is on board this whole Nazi thing, and then all of a sudden the door's kicked in, they're carted off, and a new minister arrives. He's like, "No, Nazis are good. Yeah, Nazis are tops.
Yeah,
God
sent the Nazis.
God loves a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's right, and that was general. Like, unless
God saved the Nazis.
if you weren't willing to say that,
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't become a minister
No.
in Nazi Germany at the time. And then they banned all youth associations except for one, which was the Hitler Youth. So you couldn't be a part of any like youth club. You couldn't do your roller derby. You couldn't do any
Dog. What?
You couldn't join scouts. You couldn't
I could join the Hitler Club though.
but you could join the Hitler Youth. And so like if you're looking for your kids to do something on the weekend, like you're Googling fun things to do on the weekend, all of a sudden, where there used to be pages of stuff, all of a sudden just one hit. There's just one hit on the Google search in Nazi Germany, and it's Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
And you're scrolling down, Hitler Youth. It's just all pages for Hitler Youth. It was obviously pre-internet, but the Nazis knew what they were doing. And so these were all the very swift changes that the Nazis brought in, and Nancy had a rough idea of everything. This is when she was tapped into the politics. So she sort of saw all of this going on. And in August of 1934, President Hindenburg died.
Oh.
How did he die? No one's quite sure. But he certainly died. I'm sure it was
the communist did it.
The spider's like, communist did it. And then the parrot's like, the communist did it. And then the spider's like, oh, I hate that parrot.
Oh, dang it.
Stop biting our rhymes, parrot. And with that, the last vestige of even ceremonial resistance to Hitler expired with him. Hitler's cabinet had already decided that when this occurred, they would wrap all the seats of power into one. Anyone who had power, they rolled it all into one position, and that was Hitler. Yeah. And it became a dictatorship. All the armies swore allegiance to Hitler himself rather than the German government. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so Hitler was running the show.
Hitler was like, hell yeah.
And basically it was because he was promising, as you say, Hitler was promising, among other things, that Germany could be great and powerful once again.
Make Germany great again.
That was essentially what he was saying. And that's why there's a lot of...
Deja vu.
A lot of ties into modern day life. And it's not lost on people who are like, really? Have we learnt nothing? So he was basically running on a platform of make Germany great again.
Yeah.
So Germany could be great and powerful once again after he had freed them from the terrible humiliation imposed by the Treaty of Versailles, as you have already pointed out. And so that's how he was swept into power, all the changes he made. Now, so he got appointed, and then they ran an election, obviously not against anyone, but just to get the people's ratification. Yeah. The people unanimously, all voted. They said, yes, Hitler's great. We're all on board.
The only one that they could vote for.
Pretty much, yeah. But tellingly, that election result did not include Jewish Germans who no longer had the right to vote. So this is when they've also started bringing in their very staunch anti-Jewish legislations, and they've basically said that the Jewish people are no longer real citizens of Germany.
Whoa!
And this is about the time when everyone starts to yeet as fast as possible out of Germany, if they can. Anyone who's starting to get a real bad sense about what's going on is like, perhaps we should leave now. And a lot of them are like, oh, we should 100%
Let's
leave.
Skedaddle.
And so all the countries near Europe, France including, are just getting a wave of refugees. Yeah. People fleeing the strife, particularly Jewish. All the Jewish people, if possible, are getting out as quick as possible. Yeah. And they're all flowing through France. And so Nancy's starting to get a sense of everything, that she's starting to hear all the whispers.
Oh, because she's in France as well.
She's in France, and she's starting to see the wave of people leaving Germany. and hearing the stories. And she's
It's like, what's going on in Germany?
yeah, she's exactly what's going on in Germany. What's all this Nazi business?
Yeah.
We're only getting half the story, we think.
Yeah.
Like the official story of what's going on in Germany isn't matching what all the people are saying. And
Yeah.
she's like, I got to check this out. And so she decides
Did she go to Germany?
she's going to head. She's going to head over to Vienna, which is in Austria,
Yeah.
which has been annexed by Germany by this stage.
Oh,
so,
I see. Yeah.
so Austria has come under Nazi rule.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm going to try to get a sense
So the
of
closer
what
you can
this...
go to Germany that's not Germany.
I'm going to get a sense of what this whole Nazi thing's about.
Yeah.
So I am booking a train. So her and a bunch of her chums, her
Yeah.
journalist chums, are
Yeah.
like, we're journalists. We've got to find out what's
Let's see
going
how
on.
Yeah.
Let's head to Austria.
The Americans got to know.
Yeah, we're gonna start spreading the word. We've got to get a sense. We can't just rely on other people's accounts.
No.
We're journalists, damn it.
Yeah.
We need to see for ourselves.
Facts.
We need facts. We need first-hand accounts.
Yeah.
We need our eyeballs, and we're going to take pictures and write stories, and we're going to figure it out. Let's get on the train to Vienna. And everyone's like, "Oh yes, Nancy. Oh, Nancy.
Nancy.
Oh, Nancy. You're going to Vienna. You chicky monkey." She's like, "You stay here, Frenchies. I'm going to Vienna." And so off she goes to Vienna. And that's all the time we've got for this. This was like more about an update on
Yeah.
the Nazi party.
Yeah, on
but
what's going on in Germany.
I think we need a little update.
Yeah.
Because that's really what Nancy is about to throw herself into.
Yeah.
What's going on in Germany?
So what's going on?
And we will find out what Nancy finds out. We'll find out through her.
Yeah.
Is it too soon to wrap up? No, it's because we're doing 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
look,
how long have we been going for?
25 minutes. That's
Decent.
That's a regulation
Yeah.
Yonks Ago episode.
Rambled on about Germany. You know how it be. It's our German podcast episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for this little European history update.
Yeah.
It was like our Harry Power episode
Yeah,
where we
yeah.
we had to give the background on someone else
Yeah.
so that we
that-
could fully understand our hero's journey. And I'm not saying Adolf Hitler is in any way
No, how could he
close
be?
to Harry Power. They couldn't be more
No.
opposite. I mean, they both anecdotally were very charismatic.
Yeah.
Which we might find out in future episodes of this.
But not when he's played by Russell Pigeon though.
Oh, mate, I would.
all the
would you
charisma,
mind if?
all the charisma goes
Would
out
you
the
be
window.
surprised if Russell Krapidgen played Adolf Hitler in a movie? I wouldn't.
No, because he
played a Nazi. His big.
Did he?
His big breakout role was as a Nazi in a
There you
film
go.
called Romper Stomper.
There you go.
So he does have a connection.
Yeah.
To Adolf Hitler.
and he's like
He's our connect.
and he's the bad dude in Les Mis as well.
Russell
So-
Krapidgen is playing Harry Power, much to our chagrin.
Oh.
And Russell Krapidgen played a Nazi who was a huge fan of Adolf Hitler. So it all ties in. The
Yeah.
Russell Krapidgen factor continues to poke its head up.
You like him though? No, Dad.
All right.
No,
We will continue to debate this, I'm sure.
I ban him.
And we will find out more about European history and Nancy Wake in the next episode of
Yonks Ago. Thank you for listening.
Russell Krapidgen for the win.
No.